If a British couple are retired and they are looking to move to Spain and lock, stock and barrel, and they want to sell their UK property as well, one of the most important things they've got to think about, first of all, is the timing of their visa application. Unless either one of them have an Irish passport, then there is no requirement for the visa. But the visa in particular that we're talking about is the non-lucrative visa, which is the retirement visa, because you cannot work in Spain with this visa, and you have to prove when you apply for it that you are no longer working. So somebody retired in receipt of a pension is ideally suited to the non-lucrative visa. But they do need to have a look at the timing of all this. Do I sell my UK property first? Oh, I need a Spanish address for the visa application form. I don't need to show proof of the Spanish address. I just need one for the application form. We haven't got one. What do we do? We want to buy a property in Spain. What do we do first? Well, first of all, the timing of your residency is really important, because what you don't want to do is give rise to a capital gains tax in Spain on the sale of your UK property, on the actual profit. The tax calendar year in Spain is from January to December. And it, of course, depends if you are going to reinvest the whole profit from your sale of your UK property into purchase a property in Spain. But to mitigate capital gains tax, it is better to plan the timing of your residency to start either the following year or later in the tax year, where there are not more than 183 days left in the Spanish tax year from January to December. Because if you spend more than 183 days per Spanish tax year from January to December in Spain, you are automatically deemed a Spanish tax resident, providing obviously you do have residency. So the later in the year you actually become resident in Spain, the better, because there won't be 183 days, more than 183 days left. You also need to make sure you take into account any trips that you have had to Spain as a tourist from the January to the December as well. So you will look at lots of things that you've got going on. So the UK property sale, you want to buy a house in Spain as well, or you might consider renting, and you also want to apply for the non-lucrative visa. In terms of the timing and when you start the non-lucrative visa process, if you are retired and you're looking at selling your UK property and you also need a Spanish address to put on the non-lucrative visa application form, it is often better to secure the sale on your UK property first of all. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to start the non-lucrative visa process and then stop start the process, depending on what happens on your UK property sale. It can cause a lot of frustration, a lot of rework for the process. However, it might mean that there might be a period where you might have to live in, say, temporary accommodation in the UK, because from the sale of your UK property and also applying for the non-lucrative visa, where the approval times are getting longer, and it is up to 3 months for the approval. So there might be a crossover period there where where you've sold your UK property and you might have to live with family members, or you might have to rent somebody where in the UK for any crossover of timing there.